Hello, thanks for joining me. In this video I'm visiting the Gapel cemetery on a hill outside Aberporth. The cemetery was founded in 1912 to be the burial ground of the Calvinistic Methodist Chapel, later Presbyterian Chapel, in Aberporth, Ceredigion. It is alone on the side of the road above the village, somewhat windswept but with views out to sea. It was chosen as the site for the Aberporth and Blindporth War Memorial and has a marble statue of a soldier, eyes cast down, with his hands resting on the butt of his reversed rifle. He was carved by the mason Watkin Jones of Llanybother, and he reflects the youth of many of those commemorated on the 4 granite faces of the plinth on which he stands, though many of them were not soldiers but sailors, and a few airmen too. Men from this place served in all 3 services. Here are the stories of just a few of those commemorated on the War Memorial. Private David John Davis of Tyhen enlisted in 1914 and had a long and far-travelled war. He served in Gallipoli, the Suez Canal, Palestine, and finally France, where he was killed just 2 months before the end of the war, aged 24. Thomas Griffiths of Timor was killed in March 1918. The previous year he had been awarded the Military Medal. The citation reads, "On the 3rd of September 1917 he was in an advanced post with a Lewis gun section when a shell obtained a direct hit on the post, killing 3 of the team and wounding the other. Private Griffiths, though severely wounded, remained at his post until relieved that night and showed great devotion to duty and setting a very fine example." 2 local boys, Joseph Selwyn James and John James Rees, were quartermasters on board the hospital ship HMHS Salter when it hit a mine in April 1917. Most of those on board lost their lives, including Joseph and John. Joseph was only 18 and John only 19. The Reverend Dewi Henry James was born in nearby Beulah. He was a minister who left his chapel in Newport, Gwent, during the Second World War to become a chaplain in the RAF, with the associated rank of squadron leader. When the Allies had invaded Europe after D-Day, supplies were required on the continent and were shipped over by landing ship. In November 1944, the Reverend Dewi James was on one of these ships carrying RAF servicemen, trucks and supplies to the RAF in Belgium when it struck a mine. He was lost along with 237 others. He was 28 years old. Another RAF serviceman named on the War Memorial is Flight Sergeant Simon James Williams, also remembered on this headstone. His father was John Evan Williams, a sea captain, but Simon served with 21 Squadron Royal Air Force, a light bomber squadron, flying Bristol Blenheims, as a wireless operator and air gunner. His plane was shot down over Germany in 1941. 2 of his sisters seem to have emigrated to America, but are remembered here. Many of those commemorated here who lost their lives at sea in the Second World War were in the Merchant Navy. They had an important role keeping Britain fed and the British forces supplied. Though their ships were not fighting vessels, they were mercilessly targeted, and many were lost. Captain John Rhys Jenkins, OBE, was master of the cargo ship SS Fort Miami, which played its part in the war supplying Britain. His OBE was awarded in 1945. He died in October of the same year, living long enough to see victory, but not to enjoy the peace that followed. His wife Margaret is remembered here also, with another generation of captains, John Roy James Jenkins, who died in 2013. This red granite memorial is to the same family. It commemorates the parents and sister of John Rhys Jenkins, OBE. His mother was Anne Jenkins, who died in 1918, and his father, David Jenkins, another sailor, who died in 1911 in Buenos Aires. Another sea captain who was awarded the OBE was Captain John Thomas of Tresyth, who died in 1918. In the same year, Captain Thomas Owen Thomas of Parkleen near Aberporth died aged only 39. The James family of Bellevue House also earned their living on the sea. Elizabeth died in 1915 and her husband, Captain David James, died in 1922. 3 of their sons are remembered here too. David, who died in 1890, aged 3, Tom, who died in 1894, aged 21, and Evan Owen James, who was lost on the ship the Cape Wrath. The Cape Wrath was a large bark which left Callao in Peru on the 2nd of November 1900 bound for Portland, Oregon. It had 15 men aboard and was last sighted on January the 16th, 1901, off the mouth of the Columbia River. The storm season of 1900 to 1901 was a particularly bad one, and the ship may have been a victim of one of these ferocious storms, but exactly what happened to her and her crew is unknown. The ship never arrived at her destination, and no trace of her was ever found. Captain Simon James Thomas died just before the outbreak of the Second World War. His ship, the SS Clanreed, was lost with all hands in 1938. She was carrying coal from Newport Gwent to Manchester, but she didn't get far. She was caught in a fierce storm off the Gower and sunk. I hope you found this visit to the Gapel Cemetery interesting. Please remember to hit the like button. Mine is only a small channel and it does help more people to find and enjoy these videos if you do. And as always, thank you for watching.